guys, welcome back. Guess what? We are wrapping up episode number 7 from season 1. Can you believe I have been doing this? I have done this already 7 times. Neither can I. I'm so excited that you have been taking this journey with me and you've gotten to hear this season all these amazing stories from all these wonderful women who have been empowering us and sharing their stories. I am so grateful, so thankful. Thank you to all our viewers. It's amazing. Be looking for that video of a recap of season 1. On today's episode, I have a friend, Amy, that came and is sharing with us her story about the loss of her mother. We're also going to be doing a cooking segment. We're going to be cooking a pumpkin soup that's just awesome for this fall weather that we're having. And Amy shared some apple muffins that are from the paleo diet. So stay tuned for that. You won't want to miss it. And we will have the recipes up so you guys, if you want to give them a try, you can. Welcome back for another episode of She. And today I have Amy Eisenreich, and Amy is going to be sharing with us a story that's very personal to her about something that her and her family went through with her mom. But before we get into that, I want you just to share with us just a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Amy. I am a mom of 3 kids. I have a daughter in 5th grade, a son in 4th grade, and then a son in 2nd grade. And we've lived in Fort Mill for about 4.5 years. We moved here. My husband got transferred from the Raleigh area to work for Duke Energy here. But I'm originally a Florida girl. Yay. And we love the Carolinas, but I miss the beach. But we love it here and love the change of seasons, and that we're finally feeling some fall weather, yes, which is nice. But so yeah, that's us.
And our kids have been in like classes together. Okay, so let's talk about your mom. And let our viewers know, what you and your family experienced about a year ago with your mom passing away.
Sure. My mom was, she was an open heart surgery nurse and an ER nurse, all kinds of nursing her whole life. So it was quite interesting for her to get a diagnosis. She had MDS. It's myelodysplastic syndrome. Mm-hmm. And it's very similar to leukemia, but it's not a cancer. So it's basically a blood disorder. And her body stopped making white blood cells and red blood cells. So she would go in every week and her counts would be down. And there's just really there is no way to fix that. So when she got her diagnosis, I was actually on a cruise ship with my family of 5 and talked to her. I knew she was getting test results. And it was November, Thanksgiving week, 2 years ago. And she called me and said, yes, I have MDS, like the results have been confirmed, and they're giving me about 3 months. And so got home, got to find out more about it, and sure enough, this was the diagnosis we were facing, and a lot of crazy emotions, and anger, and what do we do, how can we fix it, let's go through every avenue. And my sister spent some time with her at the I can't remember the name of it, but it was in, I want to say Tampa. It's the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Mm-hmm. So trying to figure out if she might be a candidate for bone marrow transplant, all kinds of things that you could do, which ended up not being something that my mom was a candidate for. So we basically went through that last year with her, so 11 months. She passed away November 3rd, 2016, so we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary. But that whole year preceding her death, just the things we went through with her, and essentially what you do as a person when you're helping someone die, mm-hmm. and
because
what that
nobody
experience.
Prepares you for that.
No.
Nobody prepares you for that loved one passing away, and they don't. Right. You don't know. I mean,
you don't.
And these feelings, these emotions.
It's true, and there are so many people in today's world that are diagnosed with things like cancer or things that that you may not recover from, or you're going to be down a long journey before you may recover, or the ones where you're not. And it's just a very interesting experience to know someone is sick and, like I said, essentially help them die, and go through those motions. And spend those last moments together. We did have a lot of really great moments. The one advantage, if you will, of knowing is that we wouldn't hesitate. We all spent Christmas together. I have a sister. She's got 3 children, so my mom had 6 grandchildren. We laugh because my mom had 2 girls and then had 4 grandsons and 2 granddaughters. So she got her boys, but we spent a lot of time with her. I mean, I think every month we were down. They're all in Jacksonville. We were there with her anytime we could be down there. We were there for Thanksgiving. We were there for Christmas. We were back and forth. At some point during a treatment that they tried, she ended up having a massive heart attack and had to have open surgery, like open heart surgery. So there were a lot of complications that went through the last year. And it's like every time you got that call, oh, is this going to be it? Is this going to be the time? But we did get the chance to make some nice memories with her and, like have pictures made together and help the grandchildren understand that Mimi wasn't going to be around. But when we finally got to those last moments, weeks with her, when she was under hospice care, it was just very eye-opening as to what it was we were dealing with. And it was helping somebody move from being present to, not living anymore. And it's not an easy thing to do. It sounds like dying would be easy, and it's really not. And, watching her go through that and pain and suffering and just...
And I'm sure you didn't want her to go through that.
No, you don't. You don't want someone to go through that. And you are doing everything you can. And she was so stubborn because she was a nurse. And so she knew everything that was going on. And she really had this idea that she did not want to be on morphine or medications she didn't want to be like a loopy, person. She wanted to be present. But with the way her body deteriorated and the way her blood levels were, there was no way that she was even in a coherent state. We actually went through some things where she was very angry and agitated and belligerent and just making those decisions when you've never seen something like this before, and your mom's wishes are to stay in home hospice care, but then you realize you can't take care of her and she's in pain. So we did end up moving her in-house in hospice. And hospice, I don't know what we would do without hospice. I mean, there's not another place that I know of that you can go to get that kind of assistance to die with dignity and to have the help you need, because I didn't know what I was doing. This is not something anyone does every day. And, we just took it one step at a time as to, what do we need to do today? Today, this is what she needs, and there are certain things that happen.
So when you were going through that, those last couple of weeks with your mom, you were seeing what was happening to her. Did you kind of push your emotions to the side?
Yes, absolutely. You were totally in, I want to say, like go mode, that this is where I am, this is where I need to be. It was about making sure she was comfortable, that she was not in pain. There were lots of people that were coming in and visiting, wanting to, hold her hand and say their last things to her, and lots of hugging and things like that. And I think there were quite a few moments that I had some anxiety and breakdowns when I would leave her room for a little while, and more of a way of, I don't know how much longer I can watch this. I don't know how much longer she can continue like this, because it wasn't something that just happened quickly. I remember being angry at certain points and thinking, when we have pets that are loved ones, and it's time, it seems easy. It's never easy from an emotional standpoint. Right. It's never easy to make that decision, but then it's just time, and they calmly go to sleep, and it's just not, that was not the experience I had. It was not pretty. There are little moments when I look back now that some things have, settled, but there were some beautiful moments tucked in there. But when you're going through it, it's kind of like you're in shock, I think, because you have to get to that place emotionally to deal with what's going on, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes. So tell me, what are some of the things that you do now to keep her memory alive?
Let's see. So one of the things we did was I had my mom make a list of her favorite things. So we have on her birthday, it's Mimi's favorite things day, and we have a birthday party for her. One of them was vanilla ice cream, and she liked vanilla ice cream because you can put whatever you want on top of it. So we do ice cream day, which my kids love. And a Christmas gift that she had given the children, I kept, and so the kids now get it every year with money tucked into it from her. Little things where you think, like, I'm wearing her earrings today, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of her. One of the biggest things to me with going through death, whether it's a sudden death or something that you watch over time, is that even though you know it's happening, like, all of a sudden there is that moment where they pass and they are gone and they are never coming back. And it is such a realization of how finite our lives are.
Like, and the moments.
The moments are what matter. And yes,
get to share.
I mean, it's hard, and sometimes I try to think about it to bring me out of the daily grind, and I'm like running from this to that and dealing with kids, and I'm being impatient or whatever. It's hard, but sometimes I have to think about it in that sense to just get me out of that mode of this is not what life is about. Life is not about worrying about getting, is the laundry done or whatever. You need to be able to cherish some moments too.
That's right.
So.
And I can agree with that. I mean, we do. I'm like, you know what? If the beds don't get made, the laundry's not done, who cares?
Right.
That's not what living is about. Living is about knowing that your family is together, happy, you're going out doing something together.
Even if it's just watching TV, eating cheese straws, even if you're just doing that together. Right. But maybe that becomes your thing. Yeah.
Totally. More than I want it to.
The biggest thing for me to share is that this is one of those things in life that no one talks about. I mean, you show up, whether it's a funeral or a loss of some kind, and everybody has that natural emotion to be sad, but until you've gone through it and you've been in it, there are things that happen where you are like, no one talks about this and no one shares about this. And it's not just with death, it's with all kinds of things, especially your guests last week, going through loss in that way. I mean, miscarriages. There are things in society that we sweep under the rug and don't talk about. And in my experience, dying was not easy. And if I think more people talked about it, because there were moments where I was just like, is this what happens to everyone? Is this what everyone goes through? Do I have to watch my mom lie in the bed for 2 weeks, in pain while she's dying and wondering what's going on? And,
Well, and then you're, I'm sure you were planning her funeral.
Yes.
But she was still here.
Yes.
But you are planning her funeral. I mean.
Yeah. And I will say, it is crazy, but that was one thing I'm so thankful for. My mom was very type A and very organized, and I get some of that myself from her. And we did spend a lot of time that year that she was sick preparing for that. She got to go and pick out where she wanted to be cremated and where her niche was going to be, and certain things she wanted to be involved in. And I think in some ways it helped her have a little bit of peace, like where, in your worldly version of yourself and your physical life, it's like, yes, I want to know where my remains are going to be, or I want to know where my children will stand when they come and visit my body, and getting certain things in order. One very sweet memory I have of my mom and my sister, she had a pair of diamond earrings, and my mom wasn't like flashy, she didn't have a lot of nice stuff, but she took us to the jewelry store and gave my sister and I each one earring, and we had a ring made out of it. So I wear her every day. I wear her, and I think about her when she's on me. But being able to have those moments and things like that were wonderful. But then, in the end, it was pretty rough. And those memories get a little easier as time goes on. And I did go seek counseling and therapy to talk through some of that, because it's not something everyone talks about.
I love that. No, and it's so true. We went through it too. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
And with my husband, I can see how he was very, he was scared pretty much to have feelings or emotions, because he's okay? Is this
normal? Yeah, and it does, you almost feel intimidated
because you're sad, you want to mourn that person, but the people that you come in contact with haven't gone through it.
Right.
They don't know that pain, they don't know that pain of loss. And I think for him it was like, is there something wrong with me?
Right.
But no, there's nothing wrong with you. I mean, either way, whether it happens quickly or whether you know about it, you're given time to process it, it's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's hurts. It's a pain that you don't know, you don't know what to do. So,
Well, and I think it's one of those things too that I've seen, you go through phases and seasons in your life. And one of my first ones was getting married and having babies. And I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, going to Target the first time after I had a baby and seeing all these other women, they went through all of that too after childbirth. And you're like, no one talks about it. Like, you can read the book, but it's not like what they say in the book. And, then there are other things that you go through along the way that we get here at this stage in our life where I'm watching, my parent pass away, and here we are, another phase that's just a season you have to learn from, and all these things shape who you are.
yes.
But nobody talks about it, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
But it's been an interesting year, and I totally have gone through some of those stages of grief, and some of them I don't know that I've touched them, and I feel like it's a journey I'll be on until one day I see her again.
Ours have been about 12 years, and I tell you, it's every year it's something different,
Yeah,
a different emotion.
Yeah.
You never forget them. You never
No.
forget how they passed away. You just kind of learn how to go about your daily
I know.
life.
And I do think I firmly believe she is with us. Her spirit is there. She told us, when you see a cardinal, it's me. And so I can't go anywhere without seeing a cardinal now. Like, it's funny. Last year, holiday time, I was in the UPS store. This woman was in front of me, and she reminded me of my mom. I couldn't see the front of her, and she's packing up packages for her grandchildren.
When you see somebody that looks like your mom, do you
Yeah.
immediately get like,
Yeah. She looked like her from the back, and I was like, so I just was like watching her. I went in there annoyed because I was running late, not paying attention, not being, engaged in my life and trying to get things done. And I was like, I just kind of stopped being annoyed that I was waiting behind the woman packing up packages, because she looked like my mom from the back, and she was like, I'm packing these up for my grandkids. I started thinking this is something my mom would be doing. And so I sat there and I was smiling. It made me step back and think, like, just be calm. Well, when she turned around to leave, she had a huge cardinal embroidered on her sweater. Yeah. And I just went to the car crying, called my sister. And it's like, I think, and I really do think those are signs from her spirit. Absolutely.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you do. You're a travel agent.
I am. I'm a
So
travel agent.
You get to book amazing vacations
Yes.
for people, and I know because you've done a couple of mine. And when I tell you top notch, it's top notch. So tell us a little bit about your services.
Yes. So I am a full service travel agent. I like to call myself a travel consultant because a lot of times people don't know where they want to go or what they want to do. A lot of them do know what they want to do, but then there's so much information out there on the internet, it can be overwhelming when you're looking at things. So I plan most of my travel. I work with all cruise lines. I plan a lot of Caribbean vacations, all-inclusives, things like that, and I do quite a bit with Europe. I do a little bit of Disney, but I should say I do a lot of Disney, but I have an amazing agent that takes my Disney clients because Disney is her passion, and she will, to the nth degree, plan that trip for you in any way, a way that I couldn't do it, and I want all my clients to have that kind of service. So I have my awesome Kelly, and she does all of my Disney. But, in this day and age when we're so busy, and going back to, the experience that I had, one thing that I have realized, when you are busy with day in, day out, I need something to look forward to. And having a vacation, having something that that you have dreamed about, planned for, and this experience that you're going to set for you and your husband or for your family is just, it's a wonderful thing to be able to help people with that. And when you're spending your hard-earned money and taking time off work, and you want these experiences to be precious with your children, sometimes you need a professional. So that's what I do.
And you do a great job.
Oh, thank you. I love it. I love what I do.
Our Disney cruise was amazing.
Yeah.
Top notch, top of the line. And then you booked me and my husband's 15th year anniversary in St. Lucia, and that was amazing. We definitely was something we had to look forward to.
Yes.
Because it was in the middle of the year. We worked hard.
Right.
We were just like, we can just make it to July.
I know.
If we can just make it to July, and it was awesome.
Well, and it's so important to celebrate milestones like that in your life. Like, even if it's not a cruise one year, even if you just take the time to do something special for yourself, but those years when you can afford or plan to go and do something like that, it's nice to treat yourself and
we had a great time.
you know, because these are the moments in life. They really are.
And Amy is so awesome because she partnered up with me. If you know me, you know that I love missions. And she says, you know what? My company does a really, really cool thing. And she says, we do travel for a cause. And I was like, what is that? And so she told me all about it, and her company partners up with
any place that has a cause that they want to support. So like
Right.
your cause is Casa Hogar. So what if you're going to take a vacation? Chances are a lot of people are going to take a vacation. You know someone that's got a cause that's near and dear to their heart. We will set up a team where we then donate back some of our commission to that cause. So it's such a win-win because it's money you're going to spend on something you want, but then you also get to do double duty because some of that money is then going to go back to your cause.
Yes.
So, I mean, I've done it with any nonprofit organization, with schools, with Casa Hogar. I've done it with some schools back in my hometown and things like that. So it's just a really nice way to help feeling like you're making a difference.
Yes.
So.
And you're giving back. And
Yeah.
I love it.
I know.
I'm so excited. So as you can see on the brochure, there's Casa Hogar and Travel for a Cause. And if you are looking to go on any vacation or trip or Disney World, this is the lady you need to see. And say Travel for a Cause. And a portion of your trip will go to Casa Hogar. So thank you guys. But thank you, Amy.
Well, thank you for having me. I hope I was interesting.
Yes, it was awesome.
Thank you for
And
having
stick
me.
around because we're gonna cook in the kitchen next. Hey, right today we're gonna try something new. We're gonna be cooking on She. So can you believe that? And we're gonna be making a pumpkin soup. It's called Chicken Hearty Pumpkin Soup. We're just gonna show you the ingredients and we're just gonna throw everything in the pot and we're gonna try it afterwards. So let's see what Amy's up to now. Now we're gonna put our veggies in.
Right. There we go. Try not to make a big splash mess. Is it celery, cilantro, and carrots? Cilantro will be nice and fresh with the pumpkin for flavor.
And y'all, I went and diced onions already. I was not cutting them up. I asked her, I said, do you have a recipe you want to share with us? And she said, yes, her husband has.
My husband has celiac disease, so no gluten in our house. And this was a hard diagnosis for us when we got it because I loved to bake and I worked at the Publix bakery all through college. And,
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
yeah, I used to decorate cakes and would bake with the kids. The kids were babies and they'd be standing in their diaper, you know, on a little step stool cooking with me. And so we had to completely change the way we shopped, cooked, everything. So it was, you know, an adjustment. But I will say, if somebody's got to have something, it's completely controlled diet, so I will not complain. So we're not going to put it in
We're not going to put it in
there.
the soup. Let's just put it in here for now, and then we'll add it to our soup.
Soup individually, okay. So yeah, so I have found over the years that we really enjoy trying to be paleo, and that we feel good when we are paleo. So I have brought a paleo apple muffin, and they're not overly sweet, so it's nice as like a side or things like that. So it's great. Apples, it's a great thing to do after you've gone to the apple orchard, because you can do that this time of year and come home and then you can make something with it.
And so y'all, she made some, and she brought them Look at this. We're gonna put the recipe up so you guys can, I'm sorry.
Sure. There it is.
We're gonna put the recipe up so you guys can make them too, if you like.
With that,
I
like
can't
a
wait to try them with our soup.
crumble topping. Yeah, they're good.
All right, guys, so we are done with our soup and we are about to taste test it. Okay, so we're gonna taste test now. You ready?
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's good.
It's very good.
It's not too pumpkin-y.
Yeah.
Like it just makes a nice base. Flavor, like it's barely there, but just enough.
Those are good, Amy.
No, they're grain-free. They're not overly sweet. The only sweetener in them is a half a cup of maple syrup.
And it's a good compliment
With the
with the soup.
nice. So I've got the apple chunks in them. Yeah, they're better after you let them sit overnight versus eating them like right out of the oven.
Well, I love it. We will have that recipe up for you guys. We'll have the soup and the muffins. So I hope you've enjoyed cooking with She today.
Three, two, one.
Okay, let's get situated. All right, here we go. So, thank you for coming with us today. Obviously, I already missed it. And Angus is barking. See, it's real life. Angus! I'm gonna choke you!
Just let him out here. What did he just say?
No, he probably will. He likes to look out that window. Whatever bird he sees in squirrels, he starts barking. There must be somebody running outside. Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Eisenherth with me today, and did I say that right?
No.
Okay.
It's Eisenwreath.
Eisenherth.
Like a Christmas wreath, Eisen on the front.
Today I have Amy Eisenreath with me today. Wrong. I was like, do I just keep going or do I say no? No, I knew I said it wrong. I was like, I don't think I said that right.
Okay.
The reason I did that, we're at 12 minutes and it usually stops at 12 minutes.
Okay, it did.
It's
These things, or you know, and we lost your wreath, but that's okay. We can just move it.
It's the heat.
Yeah, I think
it's making it.
you know it.